and welcome to the July 2025 edition of Easy Talks. I am the Erika Lynn, and this is my SS.
Zendalannette, the Z.
Hey, and I made sure as soon as we jumped on the computer and I seen her Z, I was like, "Ooh, let me make my E." So right now we looking like ZE, but it's okay.
Mine is easy, which is kind of sweet because I have in gallery format. So yes.
Yeah, you on my left, but I don't know how it's gonna show when it actually go live and we share it to YouTube and Facebook and all of the things. But right before we started recording, my SS was like, "Ooh, Erika, what are we gonna talk about?" And I was like, "When did you like to know?" But it's interesting because last night when we were talking about getting Easy scheduled, I'm like, man, like, what are we gonna talk about? And so one of the things that came to mind was the big scandal that everyone is talking about, and that's all over social media.
And I have no idea.
No,
I haven't been on socials. No, so this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it's this big thing right now with this at a Coldplay concert, and this gentleman who him and this woman were caught on the kiss cam, and I guess he was not supposed to be with her because that was not his wife, and so they got blasted and all of these things have transpired. And I was like, "Ooh, we should talk about marriage and infidelity and all of that." And then I was like, "Oh, maybe we shouldn't." So and then I was just like, I feel like Easy Talks, even though, just with life, full throttle lifing, I was like, that is something that we can talk about. But I just wanted to also just be intentional about bringing us to this table. And I think that and we do a really good job at not necessarily like trying to talk about the things that are hot topics right now. And so that's one of the reasons why I chose to pivot, is because, as that conversation has been brought up in my daily living, my main response has been, at the end of the day, these are real life people who have been deeply impacted by something that has been shared with the world. And I don't want to add any fuel to the fire that those three individuals and those who they are connected to are already having to endure. We don't know everybody's story. We don't know everybody's business. And at the end of the day, again, all three of them are individuals with heartbeats. And I just don't want to use their pain as a talking point when there's other things that we can intentionally bring to the table. So instead, I wanted to honor my SS, who is a MG, and me, who is a generator. And I did not want to initiate anything. I wanted us to both have an opportunity to respond. And so for me, the best way for us to respond is to holler at our girl, Chantel. So I went to Chantel and I said, "Hey, girl, my SS and I are about to Easy Talk, so can you give us something to respond to?" And she did what she do, and she came through and she gave us some things to respond to. So we're gonna do what we do with Chantel, and I don't know how many questions we're gonna get through. That's not the point. The point is for us to, again, to lean inward, to share our experiences, bringing the 27 gate of my SS, which is her conscious son, bringing my 42 and her X2 energy, my 1-3 energy, and just doing what we do best. So question number 1, SS, is under real and raw life themes. So she said, let's talk about how life humbles you just when you think you've healed. What has this season been teaching you about grace, surrender, or starting over?
Wow. For me, I think it's my book, my third book, The Audacity to Be, and how life before who I am today happened to me, for me, I was making, salary was flawless, like 6 figures, any car I wanted. I was on this committee, that committee, involved with my sorority, um, uh, just all over the place, doing everything for everybody. Then all of that was snatched when I made a decision not to go a certain route, with the job. And as life was traversing, I was seeing, experiencing relationships of people that I'd been journeying with for decades slowly dismantle, because I was starting to show up for me, because as I was getting this humbling from, like, okay, you no longer have all of this, now you need to refocus. What are your priorities? I saw how people showed up and it wasn't in alignment. Um, and that was humbling. Not being able to afford bulk toilet paper, or at some phases, water, because not only had I lost my job, but so had my husband. So we went from a nice 6 figure household to no income at all. And, but what that taught me was, I have a choice to allow things to break me, or I have a choice to build and reframe and refocus and be okay with being alone and not having those relationships, because really those relationships weren't aligned, but I didn't see it because I was so busy. So, and then I bring that forward to where I am now, and I'm going and going and I'm doing the work and life is good, like, rebuilding. Then, bam, my father has a massive stroke. And it like shatters my mom. It shatters me. And then it humbled me. It's like, yeah, you can do the work when it's good, but how are you going to do the work when it's not? So I've been in a space of really leaning into my goal. I can think, or we can think one way, but he brings us right back. Um, and instead of me allowing it to happen to us, I'm amazed at how it's drawn my dad closer to God, my mom closer to God, and how God's healing, and how he's making us focus on him in order to navigate through it. And I'm seeing those relationships that show up in loving, gentle kindness with grace. And I think some of the biggest learning has been grace, and humility. And so grateful for understanding my human design, because as I show up and as I navigate, I know that I have an emotional authority. So I know to be slow to engage and to really fall back to listen and to hear, understanding even my mom's human design, um, to know when to respond and to know when to allow her to just be and fall back. So it's been humbling. It's been a lot. So, but I also feel like all of the work that I've been doing has prepared me for such a time as this. It's like when life happens and things happen, it's like, okay, um, who's in control? You're not. Uh, you know, uh, Embrace your solitude, because in that solitude, I'm able to center and be balanced. But I also have to have that fine line of not falling into a depressive state in that solitude. So being very mindful of the work, and the various indicators, asking for help, not seeking, allowing organic flow and help to come my way. And it's been interesting because it has. Um, so yeah, did I answer it all?
You did. And, that's the beauty of these questions. And that's the beauty of, like you said, knowing your design is trusting your defined throat when you're given something to respond to, and allowing the words to just flow organically, however they decide to flow. Um, when I think about this question, um, in my process of change, in my journey, this was one of my biggest roadblocks for a really long time because I felt like, life happened. I did the things, and then in my mind, I was like, once I do the things, that means it's over and we're done and we're not going to do this again because it's already happened. We done already worked through it, then already did the work, surrendered, prayed, cried, released, yada, yada. So that means it's over and it'll never come back. And I think that for me, um, in this season of my life, I am revisiting things that I thought that I would never have to revisit again. Um, there were things that happened in my first marriage, and when they happened, I was like, absolutely not. Nope. And then it was just one thing on top of another thing on top of another thing. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game. I'm over it. I'm done with it. I need to take care of me. I need to choose me. And in choosing me, I decided to file papers and my marriage. And so now for me being married a second time, and certain things are coming up, I'm like, what in the actual F is going on right now? Like what is what is happening? Um, and for me, um, I am someone who, has spoken a lot about karma. And I personally believe because of what I have experienced with karma, like karma is real AF and karma will come back. And it's not even so much karma like in a vindictive sense or in a like spiteful sense. It's more so you reap what you sow. And so whatever seeds you plant, you're gonna have a harvest, and that harvest is coming regardless. You can do a ho'oponopono, you can forgive yourself, you can forgive others, but them seeds that have been planted, they are going to, there will be a harvest. And so I think for me, in this season, you know, one of the things that you've said, SS, even though our marriages are very, very different, what has transpired in yours versus what has transpired in mine has been very different. But one thing that you have spoken about is that it's easy to leave when things things are happening and there's a lot going on, and there's, you feel like you have justification and rationalization and all of these things, but to stay is where there's a lot of work being done. And I think for me, the biggest difference in where I'm at today is um just keeping it all the way 100. Like, I'm not necessarily staying for my husband, I'm staying for my healing. I'm staying to have this opportunity to look at me. I'm staying for this opportunity to learn how to love me in the midst of all of this happening around me. I'm staying because for me, I made a commitment, and for me, that commitment means everything to me. I'm staying because, yes, I am married to an imperfect person, but he's worth fighting for. Our marriage is worth fighting for, and I'm worth fighting for in this season. I don't know what's going to happen when this season is over, but I know as far as today, right here, right now, I am willing to share space with an individual and learn how to see him and view him and hold space with him in a both and instead of an either or framework. Um, I'm willing to look at myself and see both and instead of either or. I'm willing to go through some hard AF times. I'm willing to shed tears. I'm willing to do self reflection. And although I have done this work in the past and I thought that it was over and I thought that I was healed and I thought that I had done all of the things, all of that can still be real. And this is an opportunity to go deeper. And this is an opportunity to really do this work on and with me. And again, taking away this other person who, yes, their actions, what they do, what they don't do, how they do and don't show up, it 100% impacts me. But I have tools today that I have never had. And I am beginning to see myself in a way I never have. At 37 years old, almost 38 weeks pregnant, I love me more than I have ever loved me. I am looking at myself. I turn my own self on. You hear what I'm saying, sis? Like, I be like, girl, what the F? But I'm like, I'm falling in love with me, and I'm seeing the being that was created by the Most High holistically. And I'm learning how to show up for me in ways that I never have. I'm learning how to use my voice not to stop someone or something from happening, but because I want to learn how to use my own voice for my own self. What you do and don't do ain't got nothing to do with me, but I will learn how to use it. I will learn how to stand up for me. I will learn how to rise. I will learn how to again care for me holistically, mind, body, spirit, soul, financially, spiritually, all of the things, because I'm learning today that I am worth it. And I might not be your prize or their prize or anybody else's prize, but today I am learning how to become my own prize. And so that's what this journey and this season has really shown me. And it's a level of humility because for so long, I've been looking for that validation externally. And I have now been given an opportunity to learn how to validate myself internally, how to look at myself in the mirror, how to spend this QT with the Most High and have them sow into me and have them remind me and have them show me of who and what they created with and on purpose, and for me to do the work to be all of that, and to hold space for my flaws, to hold space for my imperfections, to hold space for my shadows, and learn how to love myself in the midst of all of it, while also, like I said, loving another person who is imperfect, but I see their light too. I see their inner child. I see all that they have gone through and been through, and I'm willing to journey through life together, in the midst of all this other extraness that sometimes make me, go to dark, dark places. But still, like, this is part of it, while also literally like brewing a whole human being that's like on his way. So that's my answer to that question. We shall move on to question two. Um, what do you do, SS, when the vision is clear, but the path is foggy?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. It chopped
Yep.
up a little bit for me.
What do you do when the vision is clear, but the path is foggy?
That's me right now. Um, I'm going to be grateful for my human design. When I know that I know that I know that I know. In my heart, in my mind, I can see it. God is like equipping me that I'm in the wellness space. I know the impact that I have. I know the work that I'm doing. And the old me of initiating, going out and doing all of the things. I had an old mentor say, "You don't do enough. You need to do this." And I used to hear it, open eyes, right? So I'm hearing it. But as I journey now and it's foggy, I pause and I ask myself, of course, 3 pause check in. Why am I feeling the fear? Why am I feeling the worry? Why am I feeling the doubt? And I get out of my head, I affirm myself, and I go to pen and paper and I create what I'm being called to create. And sis, when I tell you, organically and authentically, what I'm creating, I'm being called, because literally I'll get a phone call or I'll get an email or I'll get a text. So when it's foggy for me, one of the things that I realized about myself a year ago is when it gets foggy and I get like a gut feeling of like discomfort, which is fear, which is worry, is that I'm on the right track and I'm doing something that is uncomfortable. and I'm preparing and creating something that is uncomfortable, that I am being divinely called to create, to birth into the world at a divine time. I don't know when that is, but I know that if I get that vision, that I need to be prepared to do something with it when that person that is seeking, understanding that my journey is not just for me. And the way that I am built is that I am built to help others shine and to help others rise. As much as I used to be in the forefront before, I'm really kind of a behind the scenes type of chica by design, to help create and build and lift others up. Understanding that, um, again, it's not about me individually, but me collectively with who I'm divinely aligned with. And I don't even know who all that is right now. But I know when it's foggy, I know I'm in the right direction. And it's uncomfortable for me because it's also growth for me. You talk about when you shared earlier about, the marriage and you being in it because it's for you. It's also for him. Like the work for me is for Mario. Um, because as I'm healing, it's making space for it to ripple and for others to see that healing. And that's with the work and that's with the journey. So when it's foggy, I stay rooted, I get rooted, and I get grounded. And what I also notice is when it is foggy, a lot of external factors that I've released, they kind of try to show up. I'll get a call or a text, or I'll see something and it's emotionally, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe no, how about you pause? Because I have to be mindful of what I allow into my mind's eye, into my space, into all of me, my phone, all of the things when I'm in that foggy space, because it's easy to be derailed, especially from those from the past that were aligned with that old version of me. That could easily take me back to that later or old version of me. But I'm choosing me. I'm choosing my best version. I'm choosing to use the tools, practices, and modalities, and like lean so heavily into my human design that sometimes it scares me, because I'm like, okay, you're feeling this feeling of needing to have affirmations from somebody beyond yourself. Okay, so that's really a shadow part. Now let's reframe, see what's really going on. Yep, it's scary. Yep, it's hard. Yep, life is full of lifing. But you got it because he got you. So yeah, that's how I say rooted and grounded. I mean, like an example, yesterday, it's been foggy. All the things that are going on. Out of the blue, I get a text from, I call her little sis. Hey Z, I have a client. She wants Reiki. She also wants to be trained in Reiki. She wants to know about the retreat. Just out of the blue. So it's just like you get those indicators. Stay the course, boo. Stay the course. So provided me an opportunity to cap my Calendly. Yep, it's still updated with all of my curation dates, and so it provided me an opportunity to say, okay, blog post is tomorrow. So yep, this is what you're gonna post about. But also say, hey, you can also always schedule a curation with me, because just because it seems quiet on my end and it seems slow and foggy, there's somebody out there that's about divine timing and not my timing. So that's part of it too.
I love that. And yay, just to take a moment to celebrate, because all of that is part of the journey and part of the process. And I feel like this question is so fitting again, um, because it's like I have a tendency, like when I want something, I want it, and I want it now, and I want it the way that I see it, and I'm willing to do whatever I gotta do to make it do what it do. And my journey of healing physically from August 2021, when the conversion disorder took me out for a week, these last almost 4 years have really provided me room and space to build relationship with surrendering and with faith. And I'd already been working on it a little bit, but I mean, like, I was face to face with surrendering and with faith. Um, and so for me, I feel like for so long I've had a vision. I didn't quite understand it. I didn't quite know like how it would manifest in real life, real time. And so a lot of it for me, because of trauma responses, Foggy is a trigger. Like, no, I need to figure this out. I need to make this make sense. I need to have certainty. I need all of these things. But again, leaning into my design, I'm designed to be uncertain. However, with the design of uncertainty, I also have the definition of my identity. So that's why I feel like I have always known who I am. And what makes my identity defined is my 1034 channel, which is all about, knowing who I am and taking care of me and loving me and doing what I need to do to holistically take care of me. Because when I do that, that's connected to my Uranus, which is all about chaos and order. So for me, what I've really been leaning into is surrender, release, and let go. Surrender, release, and let go. So whenever I feel like I need to tighten, I need to grip, I need to figure out, I need to make it make sense, I need a plan of action that can get me from point A to point wherever I'm trying to go. Surrender, release, and let go. When those thoughts get to thought and all of the stuff is happening, and I'm like, well, this don't make sense. And if this happened, and then that happened, and then if this is where I'm supposed, and then I'm like, surrender, release, let go. Because at the end of the day, the vision was given to me by the Most High. That's all I need. As soon as they gave me whatever it was, then I don't need nothing else, because I know a way will be made. And it is not for me to intervene and try to control something or try to force something, which is the shadow of the 34 gate, which is my unconscious Mars. So I'm like, for me, it's like, release the need to force, because like you said, SS, the more that I let go, the more that I release, the more that I surrender, I make room and space for the Most High to show up and show out in all ways. And so for me, like, that's really where I'm at now, is I don't have to do anything. I have a little note on my desk that says, like, you don't have to figure out anything. Be right here, right now. That's it, that's all. And let go and trust. And so today, like, I do sometimes, like, especially with my business, like, what is my business supposed to be doing, and what offers do I need to create, and how do I structure it, and how do I frame it in a way? But the thing is people come to me like, hey, Erika, can you do sister circles? Hey, Erika, can you walk me through my human design? Hey, so I'm like, it's coming. And it's like, I sometimes want to box myself, like, this vision of serving and this vision of leaving this mark. I want to create what that looks like and what that means. But I'm seeing, like, my work and my purpose is soul work. Like you said, SS, about how the work that you do it for you and you do it for Mario. That's the beauty of knowing that you have that 6-2 profile, because the 6-2 profile is about other people. Whereas with me being a 1-3, it's very much so about me. And in my work and in my doing, in my work and in my doing, that's where the lighthouse comes, because I'm doing it for me. And as I do it for me, and as I journey and bloom inward, it creates that ripple effect. So that's really just the beauty. And what I'm leaning into is, like, it can be foggy, and I get to learn how to embrace the fog. I get to learn how to build relationship with the fog, and I get to lean into these practices and these tools where I am trusting the Most High. Because again, today, just like I said, I'm building this relationship with me like I have never had before. I also have a relationship with the Most High that I have never had before. I trust the Most High. I love the Most High. I know that everything that happens in my life, whether it is heartache and pain or whether it is joy and sunshine, it happens with purpose and on purpose. And whether I'm navigating a storm or I'm suntanning in the sun, the Most High has given me that opportunity and given me that moment for something that I might not know today, but more will be revealed later on. So, moving on. Go ahead.
Sis, it's just so crazy. Not crazy like crazy, but like, you talk about the human design and the 6-2 and the role model, and it's not for me. I sometimes blows my mind to see my human design at work. When you say, you just mentioned like, you're 6'2", it's for other people. So as I'm talking with my mom about just different things, and then as we navigate, my pops and his healing, we talk about just positivity. We talk about your mindset. And one of the things she said when I was in Florida, she was like, I said, because I'm being impeccable with my word. And I just want to make sure. And as she said that, I just thought, okay, so this means that I'm not just talking about it, I'm doing it. Like I say that all the time. And she was like, Dinky, you always say be impeccable with your word. And I told Sanders that I'm going to be impeccable with my words. I said thoughts and actions too, because especially in this space, as he's healing, we want to make sure that we're bringing in and calling in the right light, love, energy as we navigate it. So I'm so grateful for you for bringing this into my life. And yeah, I'm immensely grateful because it really is a game changer. It really is. Because it's easy to just crumble down and fall back. I don't want to keep saying into the old way, but into the humanality of things, into the domestic way of being. But my human design really allows me to say, it's okay that you're emotional. You have an emotional authority. Own it, feel it, and what does my sis always say? Just don't stay in it. Move through it. And with practices, I'm able to move through it. Since one day I was in my office in child's pose during my little rejuvenate break. I did a 15-minute Reiki and rejuvenate. And the anxiety with everything was just so tough. I literally went in child's pose just to breathe and feel the feelings. And it worked.
Yes, we get to feel our feelings. Like,
So, yes.
are emotional, and the domestication and the conditioning and all of it is like, oh, high vibe only and this only. And it's like, it's a both and. Like, you get to feel, you get to be with that discomfort, you get to be with that, like what feels like swallowing, like the feelings are just so big. And it's like, if I allow it to, like, I'm gonna fall in it and it's just gonna take over. And yes, it probably will, but once you allow yourself to go through it, you go through it. And when you go through it, then you come out on the other side.
And you're like, oh. It is funny because when we were in Florida, my oldest was with me, and even human design with that, being able to share space with her after being out of the house for so long, and her seeing me do the work and hearing about human design and hearing the practices as I was navigating. She was like, Mom, why do you have your earpiece in your ear? And I was like, because I have Reiki music going. I said, because this is a lot. I'm trying to navigate my emotions, making sure that I'm balanced so that I can show up for my mom. And the beauty of it was my daughter was able to show up for me. And it was funny because she said, we spent a whole lot of time together, from the rehabilitation center, then at my parents' house, just vibing and being together and shopping. And she was like, this person, like who you are right now, is so different than the person that raised me. And she said, only once have you got on my nerves. And I had to say, nope, she's not the same person she was. This is who my mom is now. So it was really interesting just to be able to navigate and have that going. But like, it was moments where I've shared this with you. Like, I just wanted to scream. And my sister's like, well, why can't you scream? But having the Reiki music in my ear and doing the breath work and being honest with my daughter and saying, this is a lot for me. I'm trying to balance it. Are you good with just doing the driving while we're here so that I can just really just be fully present and be okay? So, yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. If you don't have your human design, call the lighthouse and get your human design, because it literally it shows you how to show up for yourself. It really, really does. It really, really does. So,
And it gives you permission to
and like
be
even
on purpose. All
right,
you,
right,
like,
and
to
like
be you.
all of it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. On to the next question. I just had to share that.
Yay. So this question is, oh, okay, Chantel.
Oh my goodness.
She just, she do what she do. But this question is, are we really resting or just numbing out? A reflection on sacred rest versus avoidance and how to check in with yourself.
Hmm. I can honestly say I am truly resting now. I and not in just a sense of sleeping, but even during the day, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I sit in my purple chair in the corner of my office that has a gold little shawl over it, and I breathe and I center and often affirm. When I'm at home and I feel overwhelmed, I sit. I have released the need to feel like I have to go, 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 go. And I believe before, when angst and anxiety hit, I would just go. That was like a reason to just go do all of the things instead of sitting and resting and being in my feelings and acknowledging what was going on and reframing or affirming whatever the need is, but doing that alone without audience, without entourage, truly resting. Because from my vantage point and where I am right now, opportunity for me to feel, it's opportunity for me to do absolutely nothing but just be. And when thoughts do come, release those thoughts so that I can just have clarity and hear God speak to me. In those moments of rest is the greatest commune for me with the divine. Um, so am I truly resting at this juncture? Absolutely. And like I said, even last week when I was in Florida, um, my daughter was like, well, Mom, let's go do this. And I was like, I just need a moment. I just need to sit. Because the going for me when there's a lot going on is a shadow part because it's not allowing me to be in whatever it is I need to be in at that moment, at that time. So, yeah.
So, like the other two questions, I appreciate this question too. And it's interesting because, I've talked a lot, whether it's Talk About It Thursday, whether it's one of the blogs, whether it's Easy Talks. I've talked about my journey and my relationship with Mary and how, I went from abusing her and being in a space of active addiction to spending 11 years in recovery to reintroducing her into my life and how she, transitioned from that space of something that I used to tap out to something that I began to use as a practice and as a tool on my journey. And so, becoming pregnant, it was my personal choice to put Mary on the shelf while I, experienced this journey of pregnancy. And so much has transpired in these last 9 months, and it has been some really, really, really heavy and emotionally turbulent times. And I have had an opportunity to really, really, really practice being in the storm and learning how to ride the waves and learning how to rest. And it is hard AF because, like I shared about those emotions, especially again for those of us who are emotionally defined, this is full spectrum feelings. This is not just like a little dibble dabble. This is like waves that you feel like are crashing over and in and through you. And to just be with it, to literally be sitting on the bed and lose your breath. Like you're doing your best to breathe and do breath work, and the feelings are so overwhelming that it takes your breath away, and you just feel full body consumed. And to learn how to rest and be in it and just sit there and take it. And not take it from a victim stance, but take it from a place of strength, because they're going to fizzle, and they're going to settle. And again, like, it's easy to run from them. It's easy to numb. It's easy to dissociate. And again, for me, one of the biggest parts of my journey too has been introducing spectrum living into my daily life, because I have been so black, white, either or, this, that, and I didn't know how to share space in between. And so that's what I have been learning. I do still know how to dissociate and just tap out and go float above. And I really have been practicing being with all that is going on. And especially to my SS and I both, like, we don't have definition in our heads and our ajnas. Like, we're undefined. And so that is super impactful when life is happening, because all types of thoughts and stories and narratives and all this stuff get in here. And if you're not intentional and if you're not being mindful, they consume you too. And then they trigger the emotions, because now the story that you done created then got your emotional wave going. And now you somewhere that you're not even really at, because you done got swept away and whatever. And so building relationship with that too, like, girl, you in your head right now. Get out of your head and into your body. And it's like, why the F would I get out of my head when my body is full raging feelings? That don't make sense. But again, it's about learning. And I feel like that's what this journey has really given me. And so, again, one of the practices that I'm going to is like, I surrender, I release, I let go. I surrender, I release, I let go. Because if I'm not building relationship with this space up here, I can get caught up in the currents of emotions. And with just what my life has been these last however many months, like, it's hard AF to navigate. And every time I'm willing to sit with my feelings, every time I'm willing to become consumed, I feel like I rise higher and higher and higher. And even when the tears come, and even when I'm like, what the F are you doing? Like, F this S, this some BS. And most of the time I'm not even using, I'm real life saying the whole 4-letter, 5-letter, all of this, F this, Emma, Effer, woo, 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 whatever. But when I just allow myself to feel it and to be with it, I feel stronger after. And I don't stay there as long. I used to stay there for days, weeks, months, just this long, drawn out, just feeling like you're dying. And now, because I'm willing to sit with it for a couple hours, or I'm willing to journal, or I'm willing to feel discomfort and agitation and irritability and frustration, and I'm willing to build relationship, it doesn't have as much of a hold on me anymore. And so again, there are still times where I was like, this is just too much. I can't. And so I dissociate, but then I don't stay there. I dip back in and I'm like, okay, let's feel it. And if it becomes too much, I might come out. But I'm learning how to balance. I'm learning how to ebb. I'm learning how to flow. I'm learning how to just be with, again, the spectrum instead of trying to make it either or. And then the other part about resting, like I said, I've shared so much about my husband, but one of the biggest gifts that he has given me is his ability to see me when I'm doing the most. And that typically comes in my work, where I'm like, I'm going. Even like I said, all these weeks pregnant, I be at work just going and getting it. And then I come home and I'm like, oh my goodness. And he's like, go upstairs and take 5 minutes. Go upstairs and take 2.5 minutes. I see you. You need to chill out. Just go rest. And that is such a gift, to be able to hold that and just see it like, don't do anything right now. Just shut your eyes. You might still be tired after the 2.5 minutes, but at least you just gave your body that opportunity to rest. And so again, like, I can't just say, the negative. I have to also speak to the light and speak to the gifts that are brought to me from this individual. Because again, it's not either or, it's both and having a partner who says, hey, like, fall back and chill, go take a minute, and learning how to give my body, because even though I'm a generator, I still need times to rest and to recharge before it's nighttime, especially when I'm growing a whole human being in my belly right now. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. And being mindful of the time, SS, I would love to hear what comes to you for a journaling prompt for the month of July based on some of the things that we have talked about. And before you hit us with the journaling prompt, is a blamping retreat that is happening here in Kalamazoo. And you are a Reiki practitioner at this blamping retreat. So if you
Yes.
take a minute to shout out IPS, give people the information about how they can sign up, where they can go, and what is the blamping retreat and what it is that you will be doing at this retreat.
Okay, so Blamping, Collect and Recover, which is the wellness component of the Institute for Public Scholarship under Dr. Johnson and Denise. And it is the 8th through the 10th, August 8th through the 10th, and Reclaiming Joy, a Black Utopia centered in wellness is the theme. And I personally will be facilitating a release ceremony, group Reiki practices, some really fun, interactive, engaging Reiki experiences. Then we also have Master Young, who's going to be there doing Tai Chi. We have acupuncture, massage therapists there, and a ton of other things that I don't even know all of the details. And Micah Green is the wellness coordinator for Collect and Recover. You can go on Instagram for Collect and Recover to sign up. All of the overnight packages, I believe, are full, but there's still day passes. And so go on their website, check it out, and just come and join us. It is going to, there's a silent disco, there's wellness, sound bowls in the morning, and it's going to be an awesome experience. I'm super excited. Last year I went just as a practitioner, so I was there for the day. So I'll be there as a practitioner, and I'm actually staying the entire weekend. I have my own little solo tent, so I'm super, super excited to be a part of it, but also to be able to practice and do the work for myself as well. So awesome opportunity. This is the 4th edition. Check it out. Again, Instagram, Collect and Recover, under the Institute of Public Scholarship. So yeah, that's what we'll
Thank
be
you for
next
that.
weekend. Yes, get your day passes because I believe all of the overnight accommodations are booked. So yeah.
Yes. And then what about our journaling prompt for this month, SS?
Oh my gosh, we have talked about so much. So I'm gonna need you to repeat it as I say it because I'm just going right off the cuff here. With the exception of I did write down surrender, release, and let go. That will be a component of it. So as we navigate this month and wrap up July, I offer you and me, us, an opportunity to journal about how are you showing up for yourself to ensure your ripple is positively impacting those that you come in contact with. What can you do? What will you do when your road is foggy to get you back on track? And as you navigate, when things become weary, situations become frustrating, you fall out of your not self, you're acting from a space of being your not self theme. How will you surrender, release, and let go? How will you hold yourself accountable to doing that?
Mm. That's super rich. And I'm gonna have to once we end the recording, I'm gonna have to push play at the very end so I can write it all down because that was super rich for a
And I'll
journey.
get it from the recording so I can do the prompts too. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this time in space, SS. Thank you for everyone who has tuned in and who has stayed with us to watch, whether you watched the whole thing, just a minute, just a section. We definitely appreciate you. And yeah, this is part of us doing the work. So when we record the August Easy Talks, G Baby will be here. So that is, I can't wait to meet my little baby. But yeah, so this is yeah, the last easy where he is in the womb because I'm like, even if he go past the due date, we're gonna be induced before the end of the month. So the end of August. So yeah, so that's super exciting. Thank you so much again, SS. I love you, I appreciate you. And anything you wanna leave us with as we close and end?
As the journey seems weary, as the road seems tough, just remember you got this. You got this. You got it. I got it. So what we say to us, we say to you too. Don't give up. Always rise and thrive. Always. Always, always.
All right, that's it. That's all.